Guys, my name is Nonima Tigela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about things that happened in the courtroom and that needed attention. Okay, maybe I paid too much attention to them, but let's break it down. Before we do that, guys, please make sure you do not forget to like, to share, to comment, and most importantly, please make sure you are subscribed on the channel. Please make sure you are watching the videos up until the end and you are watching the ads that are coming through. When you're doing that, you'll be supporting this channel financially and in numbers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. So today in court, Judge Ratakot, that old man likes to think that he's too smart. He likes to think he's smarter than everyone else in the room and no one will catch on the things that he does in that courtroom. So we see you. We see the things that you do in that courtroom. We see you because medulla, don't they are working. They are working, sir. We see you. So what unfolded in that courtroom was not judicial clarity at all. It was judicial theater and not the good kind, if you get what I'm trying to say. When Bongani Ndanzi referred to Senzo Meyiwa as my brother, every South African watching understood exactly what he meant. Respect, humanity, reverence. No one had a claim of blood relation at all because in African cultures, that is clear. There's a clear understanding. It's an unspoken rule. So for Judge Rata, who claims that his mother is Zulu, that question was making me look at him sideways. I was side-eyeing him. Oh my goodness, I was side-eyeing him. No one was confused at all with what Bongani Ndanzi was doing. No fact was in dispute when it came to that because that is exactly how Africans are. It doesn't matter where you go in Africa. That is how we are. We respect each other. Except for the bench, Judge Rata, of course, because tell me why at some point Judge Rata Mukwahleng seized on that phrase and treated it as though Ndanzi had attempted to smuggle genealogy into the evidence. And I'm like, sir, how did you get into those thoughts to begin with? Why is your mind all over the show? Why are you doing that? He questioned the witness, pushed him back to a trial within a trial, and implied inconsistency where none existed. Under the pressure, Ndanzi apologized for not for lying, but for speaking respectfully. Because what the hell was Judge Rata doing, guys? I did not understand. That alone should trouble anyone who cares about the integrity of this trial. There comes then came came the moment that exposed just how far this had drifted from relevance. The judge asked when he was asking this question, you saw in his face the way he was also sitting. You saw Putin. That question is very sinister. It has nothing to do with whatever you think we must think you are doing. No, it has nothing to do with that. But the question that came to mind, I remember I was on a live with other friends, and then we were talking, and then someone was like, if Judge Rata feels bad what Ndanzi is doing is foreign, or if he feels bad what Ndanzi is doing by calling Senzo Meyiwa umfowethu or my brother is a bit weird. Then what does he mean about Ndanzi, the same Ndanzi, referring to Brigadier Gininda as Father Gininda or Ubabu Gininda? It sounds better in isiZulu or isiXhosa, Utatu Gininda. So when you call a Mr. Gininda like that, is that Ndanzi referring to Gininda as his father? No, it's a form of respect. It's a form of respect. And also someone else made an example, Uguti, if the guys, the lawyers are saying, my lord, does that make judges God? Does that make judges God? Because it doesn't. So in a way, what Judge Rata was trying to do there, he was mocking Ndanzi, and he was using mockery disguised as philosophy, as if you're no smarter than other people, as I already said. And honoring people is not something that literally claim Uguti, I'm with you or I'm your blood relative or whatsoever. It's just a respect kind of thing. I don't know if I'm making sense. There's never been a time whereby when people are being honored, we are claiming, like literally, we are claiming what we are saying. Courts run on conventions. My lord, your worship, your ladyship. No one mistake courtesy for divinity. When has we seen that? Have we seen that? Why is he making something out of nothing? To pretend otherwise is not clever. It is deliberately obscure because I did not understand. Oh my God, I honestly did not. I did not. The same applies when Danzi referred to Brigadier Bongani Gininda as Father Gininda. In African cultural context, father denotes authority, seniority, and respect, especially within hierarchical situations or institutions like the police. To ask whether that makes Gininda his biological father is not probing credibility, it is manufacturing nonsense. Do you understand? And that's what Judge Rata was doing there when it comes to, because I didn't understand what he was doing. What was he hoping for? What was he hoping for? Because I did not understand. And that is the most damaging part. After forcing it, because now Ubongani was forced to apologize, an apology and pressing the point, the judge said now he then says, no, there's nothing wrong with what Danzi had said. He just wanted understanding. Why are you contradicting yourself? And that contradiction matters because it tells us this exchange was never about the truth. It was about power, tone, and control. He likes being in control, and it's annoying. Court time was banned because of that. A witness was unsettled. The public watch him playing theatrics in that, and playing overpowering substances unnecessarily so. And none of it moved us 1 inch closer to answering the only question that matters. What evidence proves what happened to Senzo Meyiwa? Because that's what we are interested in, not the theatrics that the judge was busy with. Judges are meant to cut through the noise, not create it. Why is Judge Rata creating the noise? Honestly, why is Judge Rata creating the noise? They are meant to protect clarity, not bully the language. They are meant to respect context, not erase culture. This was not firmness. This was not rago. This was judicial irritation, mass pandering as inquired, of which that was not even the case. And moments like this don't just annoy viewers. They chip away at public confidence in whether this court is focused on justice or distracted by its own voice. That is why people are not happy with Judge Rata. Some are very angry at him. And that anger is justified because he likes being the center of attention. And he likes projecting and interfering in things that have nothing to do with him. What did that conversation resulted in? How did it help in any shape or form in that courtroom? What did it do for the Senzo Meyiwa case? How did it help finding out who killed Senzo? Do you see how much time he wasted over nothing? I don't want to lie, he really bored me when it came to that. And when a judge argues with culture instead of evidence, what does that even make him? What does that even make him? Does him being called my lord, does that make him God? Does that make him God? If Danzi calling Senzo my brother is going to be problematic. That was one of many Judge Rata's most absurd courtroom moments. I'm telling you, because I did not understand. And that was not justice. It was ego. Judge Rata versus common sense kind of vibes, because say he is always going on about common sense being not being common in that courtroom. But what was he doing? He created unnecessary chaos in that courtroom and derailed the Senzo Meyiwa trial for nothing. And now we have South Africans asking, is this a trial or a power trip for him? What is this? I don't know, man. I don't know. What are your thoughts when it comes to that? Do you think that Judge Rata is somehow losing the plot, or what's going on there? I want to hear your views. Let's talk in the comment section. Thank you so much. I will see you on our next video. Bye-bye.